Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon to the East Coast. How are you? Janine Macklin here, transformational speaker, your wealth guide and catalyst. It is Friday, the last Friday of August of 2020. Please take a deep breath. Please take the time to inhale and exhale. My Friday fact, which is usually a Friday fun, but it's a combination of the two, is really to encourage you to decompress. I don't know about you, but I'm just full. Full. Oh, I don't know. Can you feel it? Do you feel the pressure? It's like if you look at the news, then there's this story, then there's another story, then there's another. It's like we keep getting hit, bam, 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 one thing after another, one thing after another. And so it becomes imperative for us, for our own self-care, no one's going to do it or say it for you, to know when we need to release the pressure, when we need to just completely turn away from all of it. Completely. It's not like it's going to go away. It's been here for 400, 500 years. So turn away from it completely. One of the great things I believe about exercising and going out for my morning walks or runs or hikes, or now I'm getting ready to get my bike to the shop and get some air in it, is that it relieves the pressure because you're doing something physical and you're pushing on the bike, or I'm walking up the hill, or I'm running, and that releases that tightness that you can feel, because at some point it just gets caught right here. And that's why I felt it was most of yesterday. It was just caught right here. And it's like, how do you almost cough it out? You know, how do you get rid of it? How do you release it? So I can only share with you some of the things that I do to kind of let that go so that it doesn't take up residence here. Hi, Ben. Good morning. I don't want it to take up residence here. I want us to be present. I want us to feel it. I want us to cry, to yell, to scream, to run, to bike, whatever it is that you feel like you need to do to be able to release it. That includes making love, that includes sex, that includes exercise, that includes dancing, that includes punching if you have a punching bag, that includes breaking dishes on streets where there's not that many people, that includes yelling and screaming if you need to, that includes a fierce dance. You know, make yourself a playlist of really like hard music that you have to just dance, 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 dance to, that you lose awareness of all the stuff and you just give over to the music. I do it on Saturdays or Sundays. It's my Tantra dance. And you allow the music to guide you where you want to go, and you just follow it until you release it. Because remember, this is a marathon. And so when you train for a marathon, they teach us along the way how to make sure we hold on to our energy, how we move our energy, how we replenish ourselves with water or the juices along the way, so you keep this pace. And that's the way it is for us. There's a pace that we will have to maintain as we go forward. And it won't end with the election. The election is just one piece to it. It will continue on after that. So, first of all, identify what's hurting you so much, what has you so frustrated, what has your rage, what has your pissosity. Identify that, first of all. First thing you do, identify. I am pissed about. I am so frustrated by. I am so sick and tired of. That's where you want to go. First thing, say it, write it, scream it, but get it out and say it. It's not going to hurt anybody, and it will help you. It's going to move you. And if you're fine, you're like, okay, I'm good. I'm not stressed about anything. Then that's fine too. But I think Jacob yesterday I'm like, oh goodness. How do you shoot a man 7 times in the back? Paralyzing him. But most importantly, the children. See, what America doesn't realize is how often America traumatizes black youth. How often America traumatizes black youth by taking their parents, taking their fathers, taking their siblings. We haven't even begun to talk about it. There's so many freaking layers to this thing that you begin to peel and you keep peeling and keep peeling. Who's going to give them the mental health that they need? Who's going to help them now with a father who's going to be in a wheelchair? That's the dad they had just a week ago who was running around playing with them. First thing, to decompress. What are you pissed about, upset about, angry about, frustrated about, or even tired of? Maybe none of this is impacting you. You may be that kind of person that, you're fine with your life and the pigment of your skin may be different. So then what about it frustrates you? First thing, say it, write it, scream it, get it out. Don't walk around like, oh, I'm not being touched by it, or I can, I'm metaphysical, I'm spiritual, all that too, but it still impacts you. And it impacts your heart. And we must keep our hearts open on this journey, because that's going to be connected to the consciousness that we have as we move forward on the journey. So that's the first piece. Do that with your children, do that with yourself, your partners, your friends, or do it by yourself. Decompress. After you do that, hopefully you're good and sweaty and you're tired and you're like, you want some water, something to drink, go for a hard run if you're somebody who exercises. Get on your bike and pedal and pedal and pedal and cry and whatever you need to do. But let it out. You can't carry this for the long haul. We've been carrying it since March, all of April, all of May, June, July, August. We're into September. We've been carrying it for 7 months and we're going to have to carry more. The show just ended between the DNC and the RNC, and then all of the other rhetoric that goes along with that is going to come. So please decompress. And sometimes it's not enough just to keep talking to people and saying, I can't believe they did this, or I can't believe this keeps happening. Okay, you can say that, but does it really shift what's happening inside of you as far as your pain, your frustration, your disappointment, your mental health? Is it really shifting that to go from person to person saying the same thing over and over? Next, after you do that, I'd love for you to create a practice for yourself. What is it that you do as a practice to move away from the external focus of the world to the internal focus of what's the essence of what's inside of you? What does that look like? And whatever that looks like, I need you to do it all the time. So, is it meditation? Is that what it is? That's always a great place to start. I had said to myself recently I was going to start doing that more and more and more. So how does that resonate for you? Good morning. I have a mask somewhere. How does that resonate for you? To be able to start your day anchored in something bigger than yourself, bigger than the world problems, bigger than what's going on in America, bigger than what's happening in your family, bigger than the bills that you may be struggling with, bigger than that. And you're going to find the answer to that inside you. You say, well, Janine, I don't meditate. When I meditate, I don't know how. Just sit down, quiet the house, apartment, whatever. Close your eyes and be willing for, let's say, 5 minutes to focus on your breathing. You don't have to adjust it. Just become aware of it. Most of us are taking short breaths. Most of us are doing like, but you're not taking a full breath, breathing that in, expanding your lungs, which would be good for the virus that's going around, and then releasing that. Meditation is always my number one go-to. You may make prayer yours. And I'm always telling people and asking nicely, please stop bugging God about the same doggone thing. God is in the mix of all this. And maybe prayer will help you remember that if you're forgetting by our bad behavior on the planet. I was looking at something that said, in 1682 or something. We've been here before, but we don't remember that, right? But if prayer is yours, then pray. And I pray that it's an affirmative prayer. It's a prayer recognizing that there is a power and a presence called by many names that's really still governing everything that's happening. It may seem like the world is going to hell in a handbasket, but it hasn't. It's transformation. Institutional racism, it's time to talk about it. Systemic racism, it's time to look at it. White fragile, it's time to look at it. What's creating such a rub is that it's so much bombarding us. You have that. You have the protests. You have people still being shot. You have people being moved out of their homes. People are not able to work. There's so much that's bombarding us against the backdrop of a pandemic. So pray for everyone. Pray for the healing. Pray for the insight. Pray for the clarity. Pray for the stillness. Sometimes we just need to keep our mouth shut and turn within. Pray that we're not always reacting and instead we respond. And what's the difference? Well, react is like as soon as you hear something in the news, the police did something, everybody's on Facebook saying, ah, 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 ah. You're reacting. Get the information, get the details, allow it to settle with you, and then decide how you want to respond, if at all. We don't have to respond to every single thing just because there's something on the computer called Facebook. If it wasn't for Facebook, we wouldn't. Maybe we'd be talking to our neighbors or we would be on the phone. So meditation, prayer, another place to go is into a place of silence. Now I know most people don't want to be quiet. Everybody wants to talk. Everybody wants their opinions heard. Everybody has their 2 cents. But sometimes it's even to our greater advantage to be willing to take moments of silence throughout your day. What does that look like? That looks like me going for my walks. For me, that's what that looks like. When I go for my walks, I look at nature, I look at the flowers. You've heard me say this before. I smell the flowers. I marvel at the magnificence of what's happening. In spite of everything that's happening in the world, flowers are still blooming and blossoming. The cycle is still happening. The leaves are falling off my trees. They let me know that fall is coming in the midst of all the sun. So when you can take like 5 or 10 minutes in the morning in silence, afternoon in silence, midday silence, it helps you stay connected to something bigger than just what we see happening here or what the news says or the TV says. Lastly, when it comes to decompressing, find something that brings your heart joy. If it's laughter, you heard me talk about water balloon fights because they're inexpensive and kids like to get wet. Comedy. Take a day and look at nothing but funny movies that you like. Or if you're the person that likes horror, then just do horror movies. What I want you to do is shift out of the pressure cooker. Because life right now feels like a pressure cooker. We're constantly being hit moment after moment after moment with something. And for some of us, we may be used to it a bit, but not to the degree that we're experiencing it now. So those are just some of the things that I know can move you out of the pressure, this sense of, yesterday I thought, I'm just going to scream because there's so much pressure. And if you use a pressure cooker, when you cook, that pressure builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up. Well, right now today, I'm telling you to push that little button where you let the steam out, you let the smoke out, let the steam out. Oh, there goes my dad. I haven't seen him in a couple of days. Let the steam out. And you're the only one who can do that. You can turn the TV off. Things are going to keep happening. I was looking today at the young activists. I was looking today at the young BLM women, primarily I was looking at, 25 and 30. This is going to continue. The youngsters, the young cats are going to continue to take the actions and the step. And look at it. It's really divine when you think about it. You know why? I don't know if anybody was listening to me. It's really divine when you think about it because everybody's home and the students are out of school. America probably wished those kids were in school doing the basic little stuff that they had them doing. But now, do you know how many people are out of school, out of work, who are home, available? The protests have not stopped. I thought it's time for me to go protest some more. So there's some elements, if you pay attention, and maybe that should be the last offer that I give you to decompress. Look for the divine in the midst of the storm. I'm like, home from college? Those kids are not playing. Yeah, they're doing their college work, but they're also making action statements. They're taking action. They're still moving forward, and they have an opportunity to participate in it. When things like this were going on when I was growing up, you went to school and you kept right on going. So there are some divine elements to this if you're willing to actually look at them. But it's when you decompress, when you get out of the struggle, when you get out of the fight, because you may not realize how tense we are when we're looking at the stuff on the news and it pisses us off and we're like, when is it going to stop? And when are we going to be over this? And how long do we have to deal with it? But when you decompress, you come back in clean. Your heart's open, and you realize, you know what? From the minute America set this puppy up, there go my hummingbird, it included institutional racism from the very beginning. It is in everything. It is in everything. everything. Systemic racism, it was built on that. So we might as well just take some deep breaths and recognize we're going to do this, then we're going to be in this for the long haul. We're shifting something really big. I don't even know what to call it. But that's what we're doing. And we have to be up for I don't want to say the fight, but we have to be up for the transformation. And we have to get the rest. We have to eat. We have to let the anger out. We have to protect our hearts so we're not walking around so mad, so afraid, so that we can stand in solidarity. And you don't have to be in silence. There's some different groups here and there that you can be a part of. That may be one other last thing that you can do to decompress, is be a part of different groups that are having positive conversations, that are mixed race groups where you can listen and they can hear you and you can feel like maybe you're sharing information that'll have an impact. It is not our responsibility to take care of white supremacy or racism because the colonizers created it in every single area, every single area. There's no area not touched, especially religion. Religion is so touched that has people walking around like sheep doing this and doing that because you're going to get this in the by and by. It was amazing to me when I realized that when you go to the black churches, we got Jesus everywhere. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. But when you go into other people's churches, ain't no pictures of Jesus there. I thought, oh my gosh, all these years has been right in front of our face. Because I speak at white churches. So I know what's in the churches. And there's not pictures of Jesus all over the place. So it's everywhere. So instead of wearing ourselves out right now because of the realization of it, it's just that. Let's realize it. We understand it better than we did. And know that we're in it for the long haul. But this Friday, this fact, and this fun for you is to decompress. Take care of your heart, your mind, your spirit, your family, and your soul. Be willing to identify what you're so pissed off about, what you're so angry and hurt about. Be willing to look at how you can turn within to your God, however you define that, and leave it at that prayer space. When you turn within, you close your eyes, you go into that place within you, whatever you're taking in, leave it there. Leave it there. Don't go in there and do all that talking and sitting and be quiet. God already knows. Just be quiet for a minute and see what you hear. And then walk out of there renewed and restored. Find some way to have some fun. Find some way to take that pressure off. I did not leave anything off the list, although getting high is not going to help. All that's going to do is numb it. I want you to be active. I want you walking. I want you riding. I want you laughing. I want you dancing. I want you having sex, or rough sex, play sex. I want you enjoying something that's going to release these energies in your body so you can decompress. Have some fun. Yes, I know the March on Washington is going on. I saw that today. I'm like, really? When did that get set up? I heard it a long time ago when Al Sharpton said it, but when was the date picked? What were the arrangements made? Where were people supposed to meet? I'm like, okay, well, I guess I wasn't supposed to be there. So we know that's going on. We're still waiting to hear about what's going to happen with Jacob and the police officer who shot him in the back 7 times. So we're on edge about that. Now we're waiting to hear, of course, you're going to get all the wonderful dramatic. And I have to say, for the RNC, Mr. Trump, just like his television show that I didn't look at, he put on a huge performance. He put on a performance, but here's the thing that he does that the Democrats don't do. He has a niche. He zeroes in on 1 or 2 certain groups that he knows will vote for him, and that's all he focuses on. While the Democrats are going on and on, we got to do this about that, we got to do this, Trump, 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 Trump. He did it last time to get in, and I'm watching it do it again. He does niche marketing. And any marketing people who know about marketing, you know that's what he's doing. He targeted certain people, certain groups. He's not trying to reach everybody. He knows. Like we all know who are in business and marketing. You want to go to your niche and you want to talk only to them over and over and over and over. So that's what we're going to hear going forward. So nothing new. Know it's coming. Be aware of it. Don't get mad about everything. Don't get upset about everything. Don't yell and scream about everything that impacts you. Oh, here's one more thing, too, that may help in the decompressing. Decide what's important to you. If it's vote by mail, if it's volunteering, if it's writing letters to, who are we going to write to? Bar, to governors, to your council. That's another way that may help you decompress because you feel like you're taking action. So hopefully those steps will help you going forward in making sure today we have to decompress. It's too much. It's too much. When you feel that you're not at your limit, you like past your limit because you let so much in, it's time for you to just take that top off and let it let that steam and let that pressure out. So have a great weekend. I'm going to get my bike out and start that because obviously we're not getting back to the gyms anytime soon. I got to stay healthy, and so do you. Remember, this started as a health crisis, and it's still a heart crisis too. Take good care. Love you. So glad to see you. Crystal, have fun this weekend. Kat, thank you for that video. It's still wearing me out. Good morning, family. How are you? It's still wearing me out. I'm going to do series 1 today just because it helps me sweat. Get something that you do at home that you exercise. Do not put on the weight. It'll just make things heavier for you. Love yourself enough to get the rest, to make the love, to do the dancing, to laugh, to joy, to have a little bit of a drink. I got that. Marijuana is going to keep you kind of mellow, but I want you feeling your feelings. After that, you can do whatever else you're going to do for medicinal purposes. But you matter. What you think and feels matter, and think and feel matters. And taking care of you is of your utmost importance. Okay? You got it? I can't see you guys. I don't know if you're marking anything down there. Give me some hearts. Give me some love. Give me some likes. Let me know what you decide to do. Now, all the things you decide to do so that you can shake it all off. Shake it off, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. And we can get ready for next week. Well, really, next day, get ready for Saturday and Sunday. But shut it off. Turn the TV off. Turn everything off. Shake it all off. And then on Monday, maybe you can start fresh. Okay? Okay, bye for now. Take good care. You know, you can find me. I don't do this well. You can find me at www.janinemacklin.com. I'm the coach who's moving women to a relationship with money for you to have greater confidence and greater competence with money. When you go there, there's a audio called Healing Your Relationship with Money. I'm beginning to rev up my challenge group again, particularly around the conversation of girls talk, the fact that women don't talk about money. We don't talk about a lot of things, and how we can begin to bridge that so we make some strides when it comes to our finances. So that's going to begin, and then we're going to look again at doing our challenge, helping you create your financial plan going forward. If you didn't plan for this situation, then I want you to be prepared the next time another situation like this comes. A lot of times people are thinking, oh, I'll do that later, I'll think that later. I'm sure this is one of the lessons we've all learned. You got to be prepared. That 6-month saving is critical at this time. Okay? Anyway, have a good weekend. Go play, have fun. It's not as hot now as it used to be. So I'm going to do my bike today. I'm going to hit the hill tomorrow and maybe do some swimming. Got to live life. You got to make life happen for you the best way you can with what you have. Because you really do have more than enough. If you got your mind, you're not crazy. You got your heart beating. You can still love and laugh. If you have flexibility in your body and your bones, you can still stretch and move. You have your eyesight, you can still admire and look at the beauty that's around you. You have a heart, you can still send love to all those that you care about, as well as love out into the universe for everyone that you don't know. So you still have things that you can do to bring something into your life that's not just bringing pressure, but where you can take the lid off and let the pressure off. No heart attacks allowed. No falling out because you just got so stressed with everything in the news. None of that's allowed. I'm telling you, you get to take care of you first in all things and through all things. And as you do, God will take care of you. Let it go. Okay? Have a great one. Take good care. Bye for now.